Hi folks, Dr. Leitner here, and this video is a short overview of the Patron assignment for Module 2. So there was a collector assignment where you collected a bunch of paintings. There was a curator or exhibit assignment where you guys created an exhibit of the collected works. And this one is kind of the fun part where you get to walk through the exhibit, virtually walk through the exhibit, and kind of make comments and compare your interpretation of these paintings, which might not be as developed as the curators because they've had to spend more time analyzing them, but comparing your interpretation to the curators. And these questions seem a little odd, but one of the general education requirements for this course is called Cultural and Global Awareness. And it's where you develop cultural self-awareness, you develop empathy, you develop curiosity about other cultures, and openness to other cultures. So this assignment is kind of a first step in that deeper purpose. Now, on the surface, though, it's just a fun walkthrough of one of your peers' works. So I'll go through the assignment here. So what I say here for the background is kind of what I just said. Okay, we're learning to consider new ideas and different perspectives. This assignment does work best if you have some disagreements in your interpretation with the curator. And I don't want you to fake either agreeing or disagreeing. Don't think, oh, Dr. Leitner wants us to disagree, so I have to disagree. What I really want is for your kind of honest opinion. It's an informed opinion because you've looked at some of these, ideas already. But you don't have to agree or disagree. I kind of want you to be yourself in this. Now, instead of writing out your answers, you could also do a screencast. And a screencast is what you're watching now. It's just where you're filming the screen, you're recording the screen and your voice at the same time. And so as you're going through the screen, the viewer is taken along with you. So I like these a lot. I find them a little easier to do than writing out answers, and they're a little more fun to watch as well. And you can share them with other people. So if you do a screencast, I use this app called Screencast-O-Matic, and it's free and it works through your browser. Now, if you do that, you don't need to post any writing. You'll upload that to YouTube, upload your screencast to YouTube, and then you will post that link to the YouTube video in the discussion board. Okay. So each of these sections, there's 3 sections to this. Each of them should be around 100 and 250 words, or 1 to 2 minutes if you're doing a screencast. And so your entire post will be between 400 and 600 words, or 4 to 5 minutes if you're doing a screencast. Okay, so first of all, you're just going to go through the whole PowerPoint exhibit. And you're going to do that without really reading what they're saying. You're just looking at the images. And so kind of I want you to answer these questions, okay? And these are going to be your starting point. These are going to be this will be your perspective or your cultural point of view. So remind us what your statement was in DB1, okay, the landscape of your world, because that's kind of where you're coming from. What are 1 or 2 questions you would have about each piece? So ask, look at each piece, say, okay, I wonder this or that about this piece. And have 1 or 2 sentences about your initial impressions of each piece. Okay, in the next section, you are going to, for each work, you're going to compare how you understand the works to how the curator understands them. And at this point, in fact, throughout the whole thing, you're never going to say, this is a good exhibit or this is a bad exhibit or anything like that. This is just, there's no evaluation here. This is a straight comparison of this person thought this, I thought this, and you can extract some meaning from that. You can say, well, this is because of such and such difference, or maybe you overlooked something, or maybe they overlooked something. So some questions that you might answer here: in what ways do you disagree or agree with the curator? Did they answer your questions? Okay, you had one or two questions for each work up there. Did they answer them? And what did you learn about the work that surprised you? And finally, you're going to have a summary section. You're going to make a 1 or 2 sentence main point about the agreements and disagreements. Okay, and again, I put this in quotes and said no negative connotation here, meaning you're not trying to convince them that you're right. Okay, so this isn't a disagreement like an argument. It's just it's a friendly disagreement, and it's a respectful disagreement. And one of you might change your mind actually about something. So, and if that happens, that's great. Look at your questions and consider, how do you approach these works differently from the curator? So what this gets at is they're asking certain questions, and granted they're the questions I kind of assigned, but you're coming to them, you're looking at them, and you're asking other questions. And so that to me is a good starting place to say, hey, you're going to have different assumptions about what you think you might get out of this. So again, this is kind of a way to get to our different cultural assumptions. Okay, and was your experience with the art the same, different, or did it align with the curator? Okay, did you feel your experience was different due to the way the curator framed the works? Okay, so you kind of looked at the works at first without the frame, and then you went through and read what they had to say. And so did your opinion of the works change after reading what they had to say? That's kind of the question there. Okay, so guys, keep plugging away, and I really look forward to reading and watching these. Thank you.